Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Ashton. Mrs. Mosley asked me to answer a few questions about my homeland, England, in the United Kingdom. So let's get started. Where are you from? I'm from Preston, which is in Lancashire, a county in the northwest of England. My hometown is about 40 miles northwest of Manchester. It's an old market town that became a big mill town in the late 1700s. What is the food like? British food definitely has an undeserved bad rap. It's actually very good. It's simple, rustic and hearty food that came up through the ages, helping the farmers and workers get through their long days of hard toil. For instance, one of my favourite dishes is Lancashire hot pot. It's a slow-cooked casserole of layered meats, onions, carrots and potatoes. My mum cooks it with corned beef, but you can also have it with lamb, beef, or both of them together. There's also shepherd's pie, which you've probably heard about, and Yorkshire pudding, and of course the cheeses are to die for. Remember, cheddar came from England. How is England different than America? The sheer size of America is hard to comprehend coming from England. I can drive from the top of mainland Scotland down to the southern tip of England in about 16 hours. That's about how long it takes just to cross the width of Texas. England, of course, is a lot older than America. My hometown was founded in 1164. There are houses in my neighbourhood that are older than the United States, and they're just normal houses that people live in, not historical monuments. And of course we have a queen instead of a president. Our actual government, of course, is elected. The queen is just a figurehead, but we're rather fond of our traditions, and we've been a monarchy for millennia. What are some of the changes you've had to make to get used to living in America? Well, besides being an ocean away from my family, the biggest change was learning to drive on the wrong side of the road. Language was another adjustment that I still have trouble with, even after 16 years. Your idea of English is a lot different than mine. I mean, a car has a boot and a bonnet, not a trunk and a hood. I fill my car with petrol, not gas. It's a lift, not an elevator, and when it rains I carry a brolly, not an umbrella. In England I order fish and chips, but here I have to order fish and fries. And if I wanted to dunk something in my milk, I would grab a biscuit, but here you have your biscuits with gravy. And the last letter of the alphabet is a Z, not a Z. You also pronounce words wrong here. I park my car in a garage, not a garage, and our foil is made of aluminium, not aluminum. The spelling is also often different. I'm sure you're familiar with the British tendency to add U's to words, like colour and flavour, but we also often use C's where you put S's, so defence is spelled D-E-F-E-N-C-E. What do you do for fun in England? We pretty much have the same entertainment in England that you have here. We go to sporting events, movies, theatres and concerts. Our favourite sports are different, of course. Here you love your football, but our football is what we call soccer. We also have rugby, which is a lot like American football, and cricket, a game that literally lasts for days. And of course we have our local pubs. Pubs aren't just bars, they're places where you go to have a few pints with your friends and socialise, and play a few rounds of darts, pool, dominoes or trivia. What are some of the important cities in England? Obviously London is very important, it being the capital and all. Other major English cities include Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham and Newcastle. Incidentally, one of England's newest cities is also my hometown, Preston, even though it's really old. That's because the Queen has to designate a place a city based on specific rules. What are the main languages and what about all those accents? England's language, believe it or not, is English. They do speak some other languages in Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland, but the official language is English. As for accents, just like in America, different regions have different dialects. Newcastle is very close to the Scottish border, and back a few hundred years it was part of Scotland, so the dialect there has a hint of a Scottish burr to it. Cockney is the dialect from the East End of London. A bad example of this is spoken by American actor Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. Cockney is a broad accent known for its rhyming slang, For instance, instead of saying I'm climbing up the stairs, I'd say I'm going up the apples and pears. Cities and towns also have their own variations of regional accents. For example, someone from my hometown Preston will have a totally different accent than someone from Leyland, which is only about 10 miles away. In fact, my siblings and I don't even really sound the same, and we all grew up together. As for my accent, I've lived in the States now for over 16 years, so it's become a bit muddled. To your ears, I imagine I still sound English, but when I go back home, my friends tease me for talking like an American. If you'd like to hear some examples of different accents from around England and the rest of the United Kingdom, there's a great website. Just go to the following link. I hope I've given you a little insight into my homeland. Sorry I've been a bit stiff and unnatural. I've never been one for public speaking. If you have any other questions, have Mrs. Mosley pass them along. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you, and goodbye.